Presenting from the Organizing Committee of ALSA International Video Conference, AIVC 2022. I'm Minh Hưng, Head of the Media and Publication Department, and welcome to the Policy Recommendation session of AIVC 2022 Simulation Video. Aim of this video is to give an overview of what is expected and how the session is going to be conducted during AIVC 2022 Policy Recommendation session. So to further elaborate on the procedure, we shall now begin with the simulation of the Policy Recommendation session.
So, greetings to all delegates and attendees, and welcome to the second part of ALSA International Video Conference, AIVC 2022, which is the Policy Recommendation session. In this session, we will be discussing the topic of labor rights during COVID-19 pandemic. And in this session, delegates will suggest a topic of discussion and draft a policy recommendation after the mentioned theme. Before we proceed with the session, please be informed that all delegates must conform to all the rules of the session. So any delegates who wish to speak must use the raise hand feature button and wait for the moderator's approval to unmute your mic and speak. In case of technical problems, delegates can use the typing feature in the chat box to deliver their opinions instead. So are you guys all clear on that? Okay, so without any further ado, let us begin with the policy recommendation session. So first of all, as we all know, the COVID-19 outbreak has significantly affected the condition of labor rights in many countries. Several workers are laid off and others are exploited. To delegates, so the first question is, what is the situation concerning labor rights in your home country? So any delegates who would like to speak first? Oh yeah, I see Roy, I see Linh. So probably Linh from Vietnam. You may speak.
Greeting everyone. Okay, so regarding the situation of labor rights in Vietnam, the pandemic had greatly impacted the condition of the workers in Vietnam in terms of job losses, the issue of wages and social protection, as well as the existing violation to labor and human rights. One example is that there are workers who are suffering due to the economic impact, suspension without pay and low income as a result of the pandemic. However, the government in Vietnam did make efforts to tackle these issues by giving financial support to these workers. In short, the situation of labor rights in our country has been improving due to the support given by our government. However, the problems relating to labor rights in Vietnam are still developing, and I believe that there should still be more efforts in preventing such issues to persist.
Yeah, thank you, Linh, for explaining the situation concerning labor rights in Vietnam. Then any other delegates who would like to also speak on this? Oh, Patricia, yeah. So please, Patricia from Brunei, you may speak.
Hello all. So first and foremost, I would say that the current situation of labor rights in Brunei is being managed well, as the government gave financial support to employees in need and helped in protecting jobs. So many challenges concerning labor rights have been resolved in Brunei, given that the condition of COVID-19 is improving and many restrictions have been lifted, which gives the opportunity for many employees to be able to go back to work physically and be able to obtain their income. However, despite the improvements, there should still be support to workers, I believe, who are heavily affected by the pandemic, such as those who are, let's say, self-employed. That's all.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing the situation in your country. So now let us move on to the next question. What are the problems concerning labor rights in your countries, and how do you suggest to solve those issues? Any delegates who would like to speak on this? All right, yeah, please arrive from Cambodia.
Thank you, moderators. Hello, everyone. So I would like to emphasize on how it is important for the government to provide more support to the workers during the pandemic. I mean, maybe by increasing the allowance for the worker in order to reduce the worker vulnerabilities. I believe that it is essential for the government to raise the workers' allowance, so it could allow the suspended and terminate worker and also their family to be able to live in dignity during the pandemic. By doing so, I also believe that this could have lessened the hardships of the worker during the suspension and the termination. Thank you, the moderator. The floor is back to you.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea, right? So your suggestion is to direct more towards the importance of the government to increase their allowances, and that the government should provide sufficient support to the workers in the midst of COVID-19 outbreak. Yeah, I think it could be a suggestion that we could consider later. So thank you a lot, Roy. Any other delegates? Oh, so Aja from Singapore. Yeah, you may speak.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Hello and good evening. I would like to talk about the issue of preventing injustices towards migrant workers in Singapore. In Singapore, most residents are already able to live their lives like before, while freedom is still restricted for migrant workers. Many migrant workers find their lives difficult as they are unable to leave their dormitory compounds unless it is for work, and they also had to use an exit pass in order to visit the recreation centers set up for them nearby. This is also risky for the migrant workers as they cannot properly isolate themselves in their dormitory, which also increases their chance of getting infected. I believe that the government should provide more support for migrant workers towards their way of living. The government should lift the heavy COVID-19 restrictions towards migrant workers so that they can freely live while also safeguarding their health. I believe that this would fulfill the social needs of the migrant workers while also safeguarding them from infections and improving their mental health so that they can work better and freely live like the other residents in Singapore. Thank you. That's all for me.
Yeah. Yes, as you have said, it's really important to safeguard the migrant workers from injustices by improving their livelihood conditions and also protect them from COVID-19 infections as a matter of fact, right? Yeah, thank you, Aisha, for your suggestion. So what a fruitful discussion as of today. Now we will move on to summarize all given opinions to make the most effective policies that would best suit each country's specific situation.
That is the end of the simulation video. Hoping that you've been able to get the basics of the procedure. For any inquiries, please feel free to contact via the email. Thank you, and ALSA always be one.